The Last Stand head coach Phil Jackson, an 11-time champion, enters the 2011 NBA playoffs, having already announced this will be his final season on the sideline. This campaign, branded The Last Stand, mirrors the language he famously used during his previous retirement run with the Chicago Bulls in 1998. The immediate objective for his Los Angeles Lakers is securing a third consecutive NBA championship, which would be the fourth three-peat of Jackson's unparalleled career. This specific core, led by Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol, is attempting to cement its dynasty after winning the 2009 and 2010 NBA Finals. The entire structure of the team is therefore oriented around this singular, final goal for their legendary coach. Beyond the immediate goal of a three-peat, the Lakers franchise is simultaneously chasing a monumental historical milestone. A victory in the 2011 Finals would secure the organization's 17th NBA championship, a figure that would finally tie their arch-rivals, the Boston Celtics, for the most titles in league history. This pursuit carries extra weight because the Lakers' 2010 title was won in a grueling 7-game series, directly against that same Boston team. This wasn't just another title defense. It was a high-stakes race for historical supremacy before the championship window slammed shut. Consequently, the 2011 playoffs are positioned as the defining moment for this iteration of the roster, combining Jackson's retirement with organizational bragging rights. This demanding quest for a 17th title follows a long 82-game regular season that exposed several underlying vulnerabilities. 2011 vibes. The Lakers conclude the 2010 to 2011 regular season with a strong 57-25 record, securing the second seed in the Western Conference. This positions them behind the 61-win San Antonio Spurs, but still grants them home court advantage for the initial rounds. Despite this high win total, the team's performance leading into April is inconsistent, raising questions about their ability to manage the grueling pace of a third consecutive deep playoff run. The 82-game campaign shows clear signs of wear and tear on the veteran roster, which becomes immediately apparent as they prepare for their first-round opponent. Their first-round matchup is against the 7-seeded New Orleans Hornets, a team led by superstar point guard Chris Paul. On paper, the Lakers are overwhelming favorites, but the Hornets immediately exploit Los Angeles' lack of perimeter speed and energy. New Orleans shockingly takes Game 1 at Staples Center with a 109-100 victory, placing the defending champions on the defensive from the start. Although the Lakers eventually win the series, it requires 6 difficult games for the two to dispatch the underdog. This wasn't the dominant dismissal expected from a title contender, it was a grinder. The extended series exposes significant cracks in the Lakers' defense and highlights their reliance on Bryant to rescue stagnant offensive possessions. This 6-game struggle against a lower seed demonstrates a clear vulnerability, eroding their aura of invincibility just as they advance to face the 57-win Dallas Mavericks. The defenders. The Lakers enter this series as the 2-time defending champions, relying on a veteran core built specifically for the demands of playoff basketball. The offense is anchored by 32-year-old superstar Kobe Bryant, but its true strength lies in its unmatched size, featuring a starting frontcourt of 7-footers Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum. This Twin Towers lineup is supported by the perimeter defense of Ron Artest, the tough forward acquired for the 2010 title run. This entire group operates within Phil Jackson's complex triangle offense, a system that prioritizes mid-range shooting and precise spacing, which has proven nearly unstoppable in the previous to postseasons. Their advantage extends significantly beyond the starting 5, as the Lakers boast the NBA's newly crowned 6th Man of the Year, Lamar Odom. The versatile 6 feet 10 inches forward just completed a stellar regular season, averaging 14.4 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 3.0 assists per game. Odom functions as the team's vital connective tissue, capable of running the offense like a guard while rebounding like a center. This combination of championship-tested starters and an elite 6th man makes the Lakers the overwhelming favorites to advance. This heavy favoritism establishes the stakes as they prepare to face their second-round opponent, the 57-win Dallas Mavericks. The Lakers' opponent is the Dallas Mavericks, a team that finished the regular season with an identical 57-25 record as Los Angeles. Due to tiebreakers, the Mavericks enter the playoffs as the 3rd seed, slotting in right behind the defending champions. Their roster is built around the unique offensive talents of 7-foot German superstar Dirk Nowitzki, who provides elite, unguardable jump shooting from the power forward position. The offense is meanwhile directed by 38-year-old veteran point guard Jason Kidd, a future Hall of Famer who still provides high-level playmaking and steady perimeter defense. This combination of an elite scorer and a seasoned floor general makes them a dangerous, offense-first matchup for the Lakers' size-based defense. Despite their impressive 57-win season, this Mavericks team carries significant historical baggage and a league-wide reputation for being soft in the postseason. This narrative stems directly from two high-profile playoff collapses that defined Nowitzki's career to this point. The first failure occurred in the 2006 NBA Finals, where the Mavericks lost to the Miami Heat in 6 games after taking a commanding 2-0 series lead. An even greater humiliation followed in 2007, when Nowitzki won the NBA MVP award and led the Mavericks to a 67-win season, only to be shockingly eliminated in the first round by the 8th-seeded We Believe Golden State Warriors. This history of postseason failure makes them the perceived underdog. Therefore, the Mavericks enter Staples Center with immense pressure to reverse this narrative as the series tips off on May 2nd. Game 1 of the series begins on May 2nd, 2011 at Staples Center, with the Lakers looking to assert their championship pedigree. For the first 2.5 quarters, the game proceeds exactly as expected for the defending champions, as they systematically build a commanding 16-point lead deep into the third quarter. The Lakers control the tempo with their size advantage while Kobe Bryant operates efficiently, and the game seems destined for a routine 1-0 series lead for the home team. This dominance, however, proves to be completely illusory as the Mavericks' offense suddenly ignites, exposing the Lakers' perimeter defense. Dallas does not just chip away at the lead. They unleash a focused offensive barrage that completely stuns the home crowd and reverses the game's momentum. Dirk Nowitzki, the Mavericks' 7-foot scoring engine, begins to dissect the Lakers' defense, finishing the game with a dominant line of 28 points and 14 crucial rebounds. Meanwhile, Kobe Bryant attempts to hold off the charge, pouring in 36 points of his own, but he receives very little support from his teammates. The Lakers' 16-point advantage completely evaporates, leading to a frantic final possession where Bryant misses a potential game-tying three-pointer, sealing the 96-94 comeback victory for Dallas. The loss is devastating for the Lakers, as they have now surrendered the home court advantage they held over the third-seeded Mavericks. This 16-point collapse immediately invalidates their status as heavy favorites and demonstrates that their championship formula is vulnerable to a specific style of attack. This wasn't just a loss. It was a blueprint showing that the Lakers' interior size can be neutralized by Dallas' perimeter attack. An immediate review of the box score reveals exactly where the Lakers' structure failed, highlighting specific statistical gaps beyond Kobe Bryant's singular performance. To crack a deeper look at the game, one box score reveals the structural failure that allowed the 16-point lead to vanish, extending far beyond Bryant's 36-point effort. The Lakers' all-star 7-footer, Pau Gasol, was notably ineffective against the Mavericks' quicker front line, a matchup that should have favored his interior game. Gasol finished with only 15 points, but more importantly, he required 15 field goal attempts to get them, shooting a highly inefficient 5-4-15 from the floor. This lack of production from the number to option placed the entire offensive burden back onto Kobe Bryant, forcing him into a high-usage, solo role. This offensive imbalance was critically compounded by a complete disappearance from the Lakers' reserves, a unit supposedly anchored by the 6th man of the year, Lamar Odom. The entire Lakers bench combined for a meager 16 points total for the game, providing no secondary scoring punch or defensive energy. This collective failure from the supporting cast explains why the final, frantic possession occurred, as Bryant was forced to attempt a contested, game-tying three-pointer that ultimately missed. The stunned silence in Staples Center was deafening. The 96-94 loss immediately puts the second-seeded Lakers in a desperate 0-1 hole, forcing Phil Jackson to find answers for Game 2 just 2 days later. Game 2 days later, on May 4, 2011, the Lakers face what is effectively a must-win scenario to protect their home court and avoid a disastrous deficit. However, instead of responding with the urgency of a defending champion, the team appears sluggish and out of sync for the entire contest. The offensive issues from Game 1 are magnified, as the Lakers' triangle offense fails to generate easy baskets. Against the Mavericks' disciplined defense, Dallas dictates the pace from the start, building a comfortable lead and never letting the Lakers gain any real momentum. The final score of 93-81 marks the second consecutive home loss for Los Angeles, a stunning turn of events for the second seed. This loss cannot be blamed on a single late-game collapse. It is a thorough 48-minute defeat where the Lakers' best players are outmatched. Dirk Nowitzki continues his dominant playoff run for Dallas, leading all scorers with 24 points while controlling the offensive end. For the Lakers, Bryant logs 23 points, but he receives almost no consistent help from his all-star teammates or the bench. This defeat places the Lakers in a desperate 0-0 as the series shifts to Dallas. The champions have now completely surrendered home court advantage that face the grim prospect of needing to win for the next 5 games. An analysis of the game's scoring highlights exactly where the Mavericks created this massive 12-point advantage. The bench mob. The primary factor in the 93-81 loss is the profound disparity in bench production, a weakness that Dallas ruthlessly exploits to maintain its lead. The Mavericks reserves completely outclassed their counterparts, posting 40 points compared to just 25 from the entire Lakers bench. This 15-point differential is largely engineered by Dallas's sixth man, Jason "Jet" Terry, who serves as the offensive spark plug when Nowitzki rests. Terry attacks the Lakers' second unit relentlessly, finishing with 16 crucial points. This constant production ensures that Dallas never experiences an offensive drop-off, maintaining pressure on the Lakers' defense for all 48 minutes. The bench advantage is not limited to Terry's efforts. Veteran sharpshooter Peja Stojakovic also provides a significant lift, contributing 11 points and further widening the gap. The success of both Terry and Stojakovic highlights the core tactical failure from Game 1. The Lakers' perimeter defense has vanished entirely. The older, slower Lakers guards and forwards are unable to close out on Dallas's shooters, grounding them open looks from three-point range. This wasn't just a bench unit, it was a specialized perimeter attack force. This failure leaves Bryant and Pau Gasol visibly frustrated, as their own offensive efforts are nullified by cheap baskets on the other end. This 15-point bench deficit sends the Lakers to Dallas facing a desperate 0-2 hole, positioning Game 3 as a complete referendum on their season. Game 3. The series shifts to the American Airlines Center in Dallas on May 6, 2011, with the Lakers facing a critical must-win Game 3 to avoid an effective death sentence. Trailing 0-2, Phil Jackson's team must recapture the defensive intensity and offensive execution that defined their previous championship runs, all while operating in a hostile road environment. Despite the desperate circumstances, the Lakers failed to seize control of the contest, finding themselves unable to contain the Mavericks' confident and systematic offensive attack. Dallas methodically matches every Lakers push, demonstrating superior execution and energy in front of their home crowd. The champions play with more urgency than in Game 2, but the final result remains the same. The Mavericks secure a 98-92 victory, pushing the defending champions into an insurmountable hole. The statistical story of Game 3 is a direct continuation of the same problems that plagued Los Angeles in the first to contest. Dirk Nowitzki once again proves to be an unsolvable puzzle for the Lakers' vaunted front line, navigating their size to score a game-high 32 points. He is complemented perfectly by Jason Terry, who continues his assault on the Lakers' reserves by pouring in 23 points off the bench. This duo alone is responsible for 55 of the Mavericks' 98 points. This consists of one punch from the Dallas superstar, and their sixth man highlights the Lakers' total inability to find a defensive adjustment that works. This 98-90 loss places the two-time defending champions on the absolute brink of elimination, as they now face a 0-3 series deficit. In the entire 64-year history of the NBA playoffs, no team has ever successfully overcome this deficit to win a 7-game series. The Lakers dynasty, Jackson's last stand, is now reduced to a statistical near impossibility. A closer look at the Lakers' side of the box score reveals exactly why they failed to secure the win, exposing a critical lack of offensive contribution from key players. No help. The Lakers' offensive failure in Game 3 stems directly from substandard performances by their primary superstars. Bryant, the team's offensive engine, struggles to find his rhythm against the Dallas defense, finishing with an uncharacteristically low 17 points. The offensive burden is instead shifted to their 7-foot center, Bynum, who actually delivers a dominant individual performance. Bynum is the lone bright spot for Los Angeles, posting 21 points and 10 rebounds while asserting his size in the paint. However, this interior success only highlights the team's critical structural flaw, a complete lack of perimeter spacing. The Lakers as a team are unable to generate any offense from the outside, shooting a disastrous 4-15 from three-point range, which calculates to just 26.7%. This abysmal outside shooting allows the Mavericks defense to collapse on Bynum and Bryant, knowing there is no credible threat from the perimeter. This one-dimensional offense is simply not viable against a high-powered shooting team. This complete offensive imbalance, defined by the 26.7% three-point shooting and the disappearance of Gasol, locks the Lakers into their 0-3 deficit, setting the stage for a desperate, must-win game for back in Dallas on May 8th. Game for on May 8th, 2011. The Los Angeles Lakers entered the American Airlines Center facing a situation no NBA team has ever survived, and 0-3 series deficit. Their goal is no longer to win the series, but to simply avoid the humiliation of a sweep and extend Phil Jackson's career by at least one more game. This requires a perfect, championship-level performance, a return to the form that has been entirely absent for the first three contests. Instead of a final, heroic stand, what transpires is a complete and total organizational collapse, definitively ending their dynasty. The Mavericks do not just win the game, they systematically dismantle the two-time defending champions in front of a roaring home crowd. The final score is a staggering 122-86, a lopsided result that reflects a total failure in effort, execution, and professional pride. This 36-point loss is not a competitive playoff game. It is an absolute rout that serves as a symbolic execution of the Lakers' era. Dallas dominates every facet of the game, building a 24-point lead by halftime and extending it to an insurmountable 30 points. By the end of the third quarter, the 120 points allowed underscores the complete evaporation of the Lakers' defensive identity, which was their cornerstone during their 2009 and 2010 title runs. The fourth quarter itself becomes a mere formality, a 12-minute exhibition of the champions' definitive collapse. This 36-point blowout is far more than just a statistical loss. It is defined by a complete loss of professional composure from the Lakers' key players. As the deficit balloons in the second half, the team's frustration, which had been building all series, boils over into flagrant, non-basketball plays. The champions do not go out fighting for loose balls, they go out swinging, demonstrating a lack of discipline that defines their exit. This total breakdown in professionalism is punctuated by two separate ejections that symbolize the end of the Lakers' dynasty. The meltdown, the team's complete loss of composure, is best exemplified by their starting 7-foot center, Andrew Bynum, midway through the fourth quarter. As the 6-foot Mavericks guard J.J. Bryant drives to the basket for yet another layup, Bynum elects not to contest the shot, instead delivering a flagrant, airborne elbow directly to Bryant's ribs. This dangerous, non-basketball play is immediately reviewed by the officials, who correctly assess Bynum with a flagrant foul too. This ruling carries an automatic ejection, forcing Bynum to make the long walk to the locker room in disgrace. This single act is the definitive visual evidence that the Lakers' competitive will is broken. Bynum's ejection serves as the opening act for the team's complete internal collapse. The on-court implosion continues just moments later, as Lamar Odom, the reigning sixth man of the year, also gets himself ejected from the game. Odom, visibly frustrated by the officiating and the astronomical deficit, argues vehemently and receives two quick technical fouls, resulting in his automatic removal. This means that within a span of minutes, the Lakers have lost two of their three most important frontcourt players, not due to foul trouble, but to a total lack of professional discipline. These ejections are the definitive proof that the defending champions have quit. This internal surrender creates a power vacuum on the floor, which the Mavericks proceed to fill with an unprecedented offensive explosion. 23s as the Lakers' discipline evaporates. The Mavericks' offense escalates into a historic shooting performance, culminating in the 122-86 final score. The Mavericks connect on an astounding 23-pointers during the game, a figure that ties the existing NBA playoff record for most threes made in a single contest. This is not just a high-volume attack, it is a display of unprecedented efficiency, as Dallas converts their 32 attempts into a 60.5% shooting clip from beyond the arc. This relentless perimeter assault is the mathematical engine behind the 36-point blowout, as the Lakers' slow-footed defenders are completely unable to rotate and contest the barrage of open looks. With the Lakers' big men like Bynum and Odom either ejected or mentally checked out, the paint is no longer a threat, allowing Dallas's shooters to space the floor with impunity. The Mavericks' 60.5% three-point mastery is made even more stark when contrasted directly Against the Lakers' on-field perimeter shooting, Los Angeles manages to hit only 5 of their 21 three-point attempts, resulting in an abysmal 23.8% shooting mark for the game. This creates a massive 45-point scoring gap from the three-point line alone, 60 points for Dallas versus 15 for Los Angeles, a deficit that is mathematically impossible to overcome. This statistical canyon is the ultimate exposure of the Lakers' fatal flaw. Their aging roster is built for 2001's half-court battles, not 2011's emerging pace and space offense. This record-tying performance is not an accident. It is the direct result of specific Dallas bench players, particularly Jason Terry and Peja Stojakovic, capitalizing on the Lakers' total defensive collapse. Jet fuel. The primary catalyst for this historic shooting display is Mavericks guard Jason "Jet" Terry, who delivers the single greatest performance of his playoff career coming off the bench. He completely dismantles the Lakers' perimeter defense, scoring a game-high 30 points on an almost perfect shooting night. His efficiency is statistically staggering, as he connects on 9 of his 10 three-point attempts, a 90% clip. This individual outburst single-handedly matches the Lakers' entire offensive output. For long stretches of the game, Terry's 9 threes alone account for 27 points, demoralizing a Laker team that has no defensive answer for him. Terry's historic shooting is incredibly not an isolated event. He is joined by veteran sharpshooter Peja Stojakovic, who delivers his own perfect game from the perimeter. Stojakovic, also coming off the bench, scores 21 points without missing a single shot from beyond the arc by finishing a perfect 6-4-6. Together, these two reserves combine for 53 points and shoot a mathematically absurd 15-4-16 from three-point NT range. This bench duo alone outscores the entire Lakers starting lineup. This onslaught is the direct cause of the massive 63-39 halftime deficit, a 24-point gap that effectively ends the series before the third quarter even begins. This insurmountable lead, built by the bench, formalizes the 4-2-0 sweep and the end of the Lakers dynasty. The sweep, the 122-86 humiliation in Game 4, finalizes the 4-2-0 series sweep, marking a shocking and definitive end to the Lakers' 2-year championship defense. The reigning champions are officially eliminated from the 2011 playoffs, not in a competitive 7-game battle, but in the most decisive and embarrassing manner possible. This 4-0 result is historically monumental because it represents the first time in Phil Jackson's 20-season head coaching career that one of his teams has ever been swept out of the playoffs. The 11-time champion, known for his unparalleled postseason composure and preparation, sees his last stand conclude with an unprecedented 0-4 series loss, a statistical blemish that had never previously touched his legacy. An analysis of the 4-game series reveals the central tactical failure. The Mavericks bench consistently and thoroughly dominated the Lakers' reserves, exposing a critical lack of depth. The Dallas bench mob, led by Jason Terry, Peja Stojakovic, and J.J. Bryant, posts a staggering average of 43.3 points per game across the 4-game sweep. This high-powered reserve unit functions as a relentless secondary engine, ensuring that the Lakers' defense never gets a moment to rest, even when Dirk Nowitzki is off the floor. Lamar Odom, the NBA's reigning 6th Man of the Year, is rendered a complete non-factor against this onslaught. This 43.3 points per game from the Dallas reserves is the most glaring figure, but a full review of the final series statistics quantifies the Lakers' total collapse. In every phase of the game, the numbers the final series statistics quantify the massive gap in perimeter shooting that defined the 4-2-0 sweep, ultimately exposing the Lakers' outdated offensive structure. The Dallas Mavericks sustained an elite attack by shooting a remarkable 46.2% from three-point range across the 4 games. This percentage was not a small sample size anomaly. They successfully converted 60 of their 130 attempts, demonstrating both high volume and lethal efficiency. Meanwhile, the defending champions' offense repeatedly stagnated, as the Lakers connected on only 25.5% of the three-point shots from deep. This abysmal figure resulted from making just 24 of their 94 attempts, completely failing to match the Mavericks' floor spacing or scoring output. This 20.7 percentage point difference from the perimeter is the primary mathematical reason why the Lakers' interior-focused offense could not keep pace. This perimeter dominance was directly linked to an equally lopsided advantage in bench production, which the Lakers' reserves failed to counter. Over the 4-game series, the Mavericks bench scored a total of 173 points, an effort driven by the historic shooting of Jason Terry and Peja Stojakovic. In stark contrast, The entire Lakers bench, a unit supposedly anchored by the reigning sixth man of the year, produced only 125 points in total. This 48-point differential from the reserves alone is nearly impossible to overcome. In a playoff series, this disparity averages out to a 12-point advantage for Dallas in every single game, creating a deficit the Lakers starters could not erase. These two statistical failures, the 48-point bench gap and the massive three-point percentage divide, are the concrete evidence that exposes the Lakers' most significant weaknesses. The exposure the 4-2-0 sweep is not an accident. It is a clinical exposure for distinct, interconnected weaknesses that Dallas methodically exploited for the entire series. The most glaring issue is the Lakers' slow perimeter defense, which proves completely incompatible with the Mavericks' modern pace and space attack. Veteran guards like 36-year-old Derek Fisher and the 6'7" Ron Artest are consistently unable to close out on Dallas' shooters, a fact proven by the Mavericks' 46.2% three-point shooting for the series. This defensive gap is compounded by a catastrophic failure in bench scoring, as the Lakers' reserves are outscored by 48 points, 173 to 125 across the 4 games. The reigning sixth man of the year, Lamar Odom, is rendered a complete non-factor, providing no offensive relief for the starters. This inability to score from the bench is directly tied to the third major weakness. Phil Jackson's triangle offense has become outdated. While the system is designed for methodical, half-court execution through the post, it provides no mathematical answer for a team hitting 23s in an elimination game. The Lakers' 25.5% series three-point shooting demonstrates the triangles lack a perimeter spacing, making their offense slow, predictable, and easy to defend. This entire offensive philosophy looked ancient against the Mavs' barrage. Finally, all these issues are amplified by the inescapable reality of age and fatigue. This is a veteran roster, featuring a 32-year-old Bryant, coming off to consecutive grueling runs to the finals, and their exhaustion manifests as slow rotations, poor shooting, and the emotional meltdown seen in Game 4. This 36-point elimination blowout, defined by these four systemic failures, serves as the unceremonious and final punctuation mark on the 11-ring career of head coach Phil Jackson. In the immediate aftermath of the 36-point elimination, Phil Jackson attends his final post-game press conference and officially confirms his retirement from coaching. He offers no complex schematic excuses for the 4-2-0 sweep, instead providing a simple, direct concession: they're just a better team. This quote serves as a stark admission that the Mavericks' modern offense, built on spacing and three-point shooting, has rendered his own system obsolete. This uncharacteristic resignation follows a difficult series, where Jackson's own frustration was visible, culminating in a $35,000 fine he received from the league earlier in the series for publicly criticizing the referees. That fine, combined with the team's on-court meltdown, paints a picture of a legendary coach whose final chapter ends not with a title, but with a loss of control. This sweep therefore finalizes the end of the most decorated coaching run in the history of professional sports. The 11-ring era, which includes 6 titles with Chicago and 5 with Los Angeles, concludes with the first 4-2-0 sweep Jackson has ever experienced in his 20-year career. His departure signifies far more than just a coaching change. It is the definitive end of the Lakers' championship dynasty and the death of the triangle offense as a viable NBA system. This retirement isn't a ride into the sunset. It's an abrupt, humiliating exit. The immediate consequence is a massive power vacuum, as the Lakers organization must now find a new coach, a new offensive identity, and a new direction during a turbulent and lockout-shortened offseason. The fallout, the immediate aftermath of the 4-2-0 sweep, transitions directly into a period of league-wide chaos, as the 2011 NBA lockout officially begins on July 1st. This work stoppage freezes all player movement and collective bargaining, preventing the Lakers organization from immediately addressing the glaring weaknesses the Mavericks exposed. When the lockout finally concludes in December 2011, the front office's first major move signals a complete break from their championship core. Lamar Odom, the reigning sixth man of the year, whose value plummeted after his game for ejection, is traded to the Dallas Mavericks for almost nothing in return. This wasn't a hockey trade to improve the roster. The Lakers receive only a traded player exception, effectively dumping a key emotional leader and confirming the end of their previous formula. This Odom trade, however, is only the disastrous B-plot to a much larger, failed organizational pivot that occurs just days earlier. The Lakers front office had engineered a blockbuster 3-team trade intended to retool the roster, by acquiring superstar point guard Chris Paul from the New Orleans Hornets. This approved deal would have fundamentally rebuilt the team's identity, pairing Kobe Bryant with the league's best young point guard at the expense of Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom. In an unprecedented and controversial move, the NBA, acting as the interim owner of the Hornets, vetoes the completed trade for infamously vague basketball reasons. This veto not only blocks the Lakers from acquiring their next superstar, but, combined with the Odom salary dump, confirms the dynasty is definitively over. The 2011 sweep, therefore, serves as the clear demarcation point ending Jackson's career, fracturing the roster and permanently closing the Lakers' championship window.